the other kind of hyperbola? Well, this hyperbola, notice, is going to open up and down. Notice its equation, because it opens up and down, has the, notice this time, has the y coming first, because it opens up and down. Notice, then that means your y is going to be your major axis. And again, notice A is still going to be your radius on your major axis. A is always underneath your major axis, in which case A is always the one that comes first on these. It's not which one's bigger again. It's always which one comes first and which one comes second. Okay, so continuing along, we know that our center is going to come from whatever's with your x squared and whatever's inside with your y squared. Again, just like before, we'll do the opposite of whatever's listed to come up with your center. Then your vertices are going to be on your major axis. On this one, because you're actually pointing up and down, it's what's going to move you up and down from the center. In which case, again, this is going to come from your A that's on the bottom. That's how much you'll go up and how much you'll go down from the center to come up with the vertices from the center. To get both of those. Okay. Continuing right along, what also do we have to worry about is the foci. The foci are, again, inside of your hyperbola, pushed out a little bit. It's going to be based on finding your C again, just like before. So remember with hyperbolas, your C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. Unlike your formula, which has a minus in it. So you can find C to find out where your focus are going to be. You'll add and subtract C from the center, and that will put your focus as a part, or your foci, as a part of your graph. Okay, so remember that B is going to be how much, again, can help you make your box, how much you're going left and right. Again, will be kind of your radius for your x's, that you can create a box to kind of draw your asymptotes that will hold in your asymptotes, which will kind of hold in your graph, because again, we know that asymptotes you'll get closer and closer and closer to, but you'll never actually touch. But again, like I said, with the foci, you will add and subtract them, this time to the y's, because your graph is opening up and down. You go along the major axis. But notice with the asymptotes, instead of, on this one, instead of B over A, which is Y over X like we had before, we've got A over B. Notice that what that means is it's still in the same order. It looks like it's not because it's A over B instead of B over A, but what that means, if you look at your equations, is remember your Y's are always going first, then your X's, which makes sense. Whatever's out in front of your X term here should be your slope. And remember your slope on both of these is, remember that your slope is rise over run, which has to do with your y's over your x's. So even though this looks like a reverse order, because in the last one we had b's over a's, it's not. Because the b in the last one, look, the b in the last one was again going for your y's. Over your A was for your X's, so it's still rise over run. We are making sure that we do the right thing, Y's over X's. And just like before, the asymptote, whatever is with the X's is going to be reverse of what was listed with the x's, we're going to leave it the way it was in the original equation. And then with the y's, we're going to do, because it's on the outside opposite of what was listed. So, for example, if the equation had a +2, we're actually going to do a -2 because it actually ended up shifting the equation down 2. The vertices should also be, again, affected by the y's. They should be going up and down because they are the beginnings and ends of our hyperbola, and our hyperbola opens up and down. So when we're talking about the vertices, remember all that means are the 2 points here that make up starting your hyperbola, and where it points out upwards and downwards. That's what's going to make up your vertices. And remember, you find those vertices by adding and subtracting the radius to the major axis. And this one, you're adding and subtracting that a to the y values, because your y's are your major axis because the y's came first. So this is going to take some practice. This is not quite as straightforward as circles or ellipses. So let's take a look.